Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9, Nueve, of Divided by Werewolves. I'm here.
Oh,
Mitch is here.
fancy.
I know, right?
Yes.
All the months learning Spanish have finally paid off. So this is our special comics only episode. Although I don't know if we so far I'm not sure. I'm not sure I could say that we'll have the strength to stick to just comics. But when we originally started talking about doing the show, one of the things we wanted to talk about was comics, because Mitch works at a comic store, loves comics, and I've got more pieces of Mitch Reeves Batman on my walls in my house than I do of artwork from my own children. But we've never actually kind of gotten around to just having a show where we kind of focus on comics. And I've been reading some stuff, and Mitch has turned me on to some things, and we just wanted to rap about it. And then if you watched this past Friday night when we played some Overwatch, it didn't go as well as we had planned. So we're hoping for a little redemption in the 3v3. I was trying to explain to my wife what happened Friday night. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I felt like we did really well that first match, and then they just got dialed in on us, and it was like,
right.
We couldn't do nothing.
The dumbest thing about it was literally the same 3 players we were up against, and they literally picked the same 3 characters, and we had no answer for it.
Right, but then we got grouped up with another group, and they did the same thing to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it was terrible. The next morning, I went undefeated. Like every time I played the game, I don't know.
I think I need to play with you earlier in the morning, because I remember, when you first I remember when you first got the game, I'd be, hanging out on Sunday morning or whatever, and I'd be watching your tweets saying how you were just wrecking shop, and I was like, God damn it.
Select your hero.
All right,
It's gonna be a diva heavy night for me.
All right, well, he's picking Zenyatta.
Spoiler alert.
So
all right,
I'll pick Soldier. What the hell?
There you go.
I was gonna take Zenyatta, but this guy did. No, he picked Mercy. Don't do Mercy.
Oh, he switched to Mercy. Don't do Mercy, dude. Come on.
All right.
All right. Well, let's see how it goes.
All right. So what book do you want to talk about first?
So I am dying to hear what you thought about Lady Killer.
Okay,
I
yeah.
love Lady Killer, and
so Lady Killer is a book by Joelle Jones, and I forget the name of the other the guy who first started writing it with her, that Mitch turned me on to, and it's this really awesome book about this woman who is an assassin. I got deflected by Genji. So she's a 1950s housewife, and is she a government assassin? I don't know if it's clear.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
It's not maybe initially. So here's the problem that we're gonna have is because I'm into book 2.
Yeah, I read all of book 1, but you go ahead. Don't worry about spoiling anything. You go ahead and you do your thing.
No. Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin book 2 for you at all, because the reason why I was so I got so excited, because I think I mentioned it to you a while back, because I thought you'd dig it, and I was like, all right. So then I tell you all kinds of shit that's cool, and then I just kind of let it go, and eventually you always check it out and we talk about it. But book 2 comes out, and book 2 is so far way better than book 1. I mean, it was good. I love book 1, but I'm so excited for the shit that's going on in book 2 right now. That's why I was really dude, if you didn't check this out, please check it out, because we need to talk about this.
I mean, one of the things about book 2 or book 1 that I was interested in is that book 1 is really, it's only 5 issues, and it's shit, hold on. God damn it, I got killed by Torgdorn. It really is just kind of setting up the universe, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think I was expecting because it was broken up in books, I was expecting things being maybe a little more self-contained. So I definitely am looking forward to book 2, but I tend to read things, like you read things issue by issue. I tend to read things once the collected editions are out. Man, we got no answer for these people.
At least I'm getting teabagged. It's just.
Alright. You know what? I don't think Genji can't deflect the ice beams. But so far what I've read, I really enjoy. So it's this combination of, I forget Sophie, is that her name? I forget the name of the woman. My brain's
I'm
quite
really
working
bad
today.
with character names.
So she's a 1950s housewife, and she's also an assassin. But what they don't really set up is whether she's a government assassin, she's a private assassin. All you know is that she works, she has a handler named Peck. She has a fairly clueless husband.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And her handler's boss basically wants her dead. And then she does a couple missions, kind of.
Please get him.
Oh man! Oh my god! All right, that sucked.
Yeah.
And so Joelle Jones, she kind of had the story idea, and then wrote it with a guy, but she's also the artist, and then she's the full-time writer for the second book, right?
Yes.
Yes,
and her all her.
Her art style is really cool. It reminds me of it's like very like elongated, I think is the right way to say.
Yeah.
Like all I can think of is like almost like she's writing like a Ralph Dibny book, like just kind of like a lot of times when they used to draw Ralph Dibny or whatever his name was Elastic Man, or I forget what they named
Elastic Man.
They kind of would exaggerate like his features somewhat to kind of show the elasticity, and that's kind of what this reminds me of. But it's also got the very the 50s, very like bright colors and clean lines and kind of almost somewhat
like the blood. The blood is all black. Like
right. I mean, and it's fairly brutal. Like she's not one of she's not an assassin. Like, oh, okay, well she's a woman, so she's gonna poison them, or she's gonna. I mean, she she definitely gets her hands dirty.
Her first kill was like a claw hammer, and she beat this lady's head in with it.
That's right, yeah. And so then on top of then just kind of being an assassin who's, essentially being put out to pasture for reasons she doesn't really know. You know what? I'm gonna try. We'll try.
There we go.
What's his nuts?
I'm gonna go soldier thing. There we go.
I mean, she also has her husband, so she's trying to hide this life from them. And what I don't quite get is that genuinely her husband and her kids, and then she got recruited. So while she was a housewife, or are they a cover?
They're all on the right side. They're all on the right side.
Okay.
They're not a cover. They're not a by book 2. I had the same question. I'm dead. By book 2, like I had the same kind of questions, but by book 2, by the time you get done with 1 and get into 2, you know that's really her family, and she is not working for the government.
Okay.
But like again with the art, reminds me of is Bart Sears. Who I don't know if you remember who that was.
I'm really bad with names.
Okay, so he was fairly prolific during the early days of Image and in the Valiant comics. He did a lot of the Turok stuff when Valiant first picked up the Turok thing. That's who her art reminds me of a lot. That book, man, I absolutely love. Like, I love everything about it. I think the colors are amazing. I love the setting. I love the premise. I love the fact that she's a 1950s housewife who just happens to be an assassin. Right. Because her husband is so clueless.
Yeah, I mean, it's the stereotypical, like, oh, he gets home, he takes his pants and his, he's sitting there in his underwear and his socks with the little, the leather bracers.
Right, yeah.
What the hell?
It's so good. And he's so fucking dumb.
I went to shoot out both orbs and I got killed right away.
Teammate eliminated.
You know what I think? I'm beginning to think that maybe we just really sucked at 3x3 and we just got early when it first came, or we got lucky when it first came out.
That's definitely what it's looking like.
Score 0-2.
But the whole thing is like, all right, so there's there's her, the husband, the kids, and so I don't know, I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure like the mother-in-law was in the first book.
Yes, the German mom. Yeah, the German mom. And what's interesting is that she starts. There's one part where she gets a job as a cover working at the opening of the Seattle World's Fair, and so her whole family goes, and the mother recognizes some of the people that not only she working with, like she kind of brought in when she realized that she was going to get killed, but like her boss as well. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, this is so clearly this woman speaks German. So you're like, okay, like how the hell does she know these guys?
Right.
I just got killed.
Book 2 answers some of that. So that's part of what I'm so into book 2 for, man, because like mother-in-law is like, you learn some shit about mother-in-law in book 2.
Oh, really?
You're just like, holy shit. Yeah. Oh, I got so excited when I read issue 2. Like, I was like, holy shit. I'm gonna die so hard right now.
We are getting our asses kicked.
Yeah, they're coming to get me. There's nothing I can do here.
And they're not high level. They're just much better than us.
Yeah, well, they're not talking about Lady Killer either, dude, so I'm dead.
I'm not sure that would make a difference. I wish that made a difference. I wish I could say that would make a difference. I'm just not. I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not.
Play of the game.
Ruler of all 20. Well, there you go. That's what it is.
Well,
this person's the ruler of all 20.
Right, clearly. We are obviously part of the 20.
Yeah, no shit, right?
So
maybe I should play Zarya. What the hell, right?
I mean, why not? It couldn't hurt.
So, do you feel like that this is a book that has, like, because I mean, there's certain books you could tell. One of the books that I'm going to talk about, The Vision. I mean, that's just going to be a 12-issue book. Do you feel like this is a book that she's got kind of a set beginning, kind of middle and end, or is this something that you feel like could just kind of keep going? Because I haven't gotten enough into the mythology of it to really be able to tell one way or another.
I feel like, honestly, it could go either way. I feel like the thing is, how long are you willing to suspend the belief that her husband doesn't realize she's an assassin, not just a housewife?
But see, well, here's the thing, though. I think that being in the time frame that they set it, I think helps with that, because I think most men in the 50s were probably somewhat clueless as to what their wives did when they were at work.
Yeah.
And maybe to a certain degree, not necessarily open to the idea that their wives were capable of more than what they were currently doing.
But still, I think, most of these things these books that are based around an assassin, so there's always somebody better. So eventually, I think that she's probably going to end up going up against somebody who is a better assassin than her, and we'll see. Holy shit! So Zenyatta was not the solution to our troubles. Roadhog just ate my lunch. But no, like I don't know. I could see it going either way, and I'm actually fine with it. Like, I'll read that book forever, or I'll read it for 12 issues, and something sad will happen, and I'll be like, man, but how good was it, for 12 issues? Right.
Well, it just seems like nowadays, this seems to be the difference from when I was reading comics, is that, I mean, obviously there was always like mini-series, but that was like three issues, or they would have like crossover events that had, but it seems like comics now are almost more like TV in that there are certain shows where they have, they have an understanding of where we only want to do whatever, 3 seasons or 4 seasons. So as opposed to
comics these days aren't written. They're not written creative teams, they write just enough for a graphic novel or a trade paperback, and that's really sucks because you don't get those runs like we used to get. You know, where a team would be on a book forever or an extended period of time. Now it's like everything's written for trade. It's like, well, we have this story, we can do that story in one trade, or, you know, I have an idea for a run, we can get 3 trades out of that, but everything's done by, they're done in 6-issue like bursts almost.
And is that done?
It really is.
Do you think that that's done just to market it that way, or is it
Yes.
just they're getting, instead of just trying, like, because it also seems like cancellation's always kind of there too, so I mean, on the one hand, I understand what you're saying, that it sucks to have things parceled out in a way, but if you don't know from month to month, it almost seems like it's better to kind of hedge your bets and hope that you can at least tell the story you want to tell, rather than risk it being...
So, yeah, so there's the other thing, right? So I'm speaking in terms of, like, you know, Batman, like, shit that's been around forever. It's very much written for trade these days. Now, the independent stuff, I think, not so much. I mean, to an extent, yeah, but maybe not as bad. Surely we can kill one person. We can find them.
Where are you?
You know, they're just trying. I am.
oh, there he's up top.
Yeah, he is. I'm going back that way.
I got it.
There we go. Hey.
Jesus Christ, about time. So you're saying then the long running stuff now is, I mean, I kind of got that when I started reading like Snyder's run on Batman, you could definitely tell either they just did a really good job of writing it to be like, see, this is where I can't tell. Did they specifically intend for it to be broken up this way, or did they just do a good job of telling the story to where when it was broken up, it didn't feel like it?
I feel like single issue sales aren't what they used to be, and so everything has to be, and it's the whole thing, right, with comics becoming like popular. It's like everybody wants, you know, the term trade paperback or graphic novel, which irks the shit out of me, because there's a difference between trade paperback and a graphic novel. There's a difference between a comic book and a graphic novel, right? And so that just bothers me. But I think everybody thinks that, you know, a comic book is a graphic novel, and they're these collected editions of 6 issues, or like, you know, a story, and those stories are done in 6 issues.
Right.
And, you know, they're like, oh, this new graphic novel is awesome. And I'm like, well, but it's not a graphic novel, bro.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to, you know, that distinction used to bother me when they'd be like, oh no, it's not a comic, it's a graphic novel. And I'm like, no, you don't have to try to be like all bougie about it. Like, I mean, there is a difference,
right.
You know, like
there's nothing wrong with calling it a comic book.
Right.
And the thing is, there are graphic novels. Graphic novels are stories or books that are written that are oversized, that only come out in that way.
Right.
Those are graphic novels.
Right.
But a trade paperback, all a trade paperback is a collection of usually 6 comic books that came out in comic book form, you know, that tell a story. That doesn't make it a graphic novel, right?
Right. Oh,
why are we afraid to call them comic books?
Well, I think, you know, I remember as a kid when that started happening, it was this kind of rush to respectability that I don't know why they felt like they needed it, but, you know. Yeah. I mean, to a certain degree, I mean, you know, you see the same thing in games too, where it'd be like, you know, this whole, you know, kind of bullshit discuss. Are games art? Who the fuck cares? Do you play it? Do you have a good time? Can people make a living off of making it? Do they enjoy it? You know, then who gives a shit what the fuck you want to call it? Like, at the end of the day, if they're telling good stories, you're having a good time playing them, they're having a good time making them, call it whatever the fuck you want. Like, and I'm the same way with comics. Like, I think the distinction's important because, like you said, they actually are separate things, and they serve separate purposes in the whole comics, you know, kind of universe, and the type of stories that they tell are different. Yeah. But no, I mean, you know, Lady Killer was one of those things where you had told me about it, and I planned on getting it, and then I forgot about it, and then you mentioned it again, and Comixology was having their Cyber Monday sale, so they had all of the first issues the first 5 at half off.
Oh God. So you read all 5?
So I ended up getting, so instead of paying, you know, $10, instead of paying $10 for the first book, I spent $5 because I essentially got every issue for $1 each. And the only reason I didn't buy the second collection was I figured I would not get that good of a deal. For the second book, so I thought, well, I'll just wait.
What does Farah do? What the fuck? All right. So our Farah just sat there and let Sombra shoot her in the back of the head. Yeah. So book 2's not over yet. It's only like I think only 2 issues into it so far.
Right.
So.
Right. That's what I saw. Do you see where she is?
I don't, because it's fucking Sombra. She's behind you. There she is.
She hacked me.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Behind you again.
Yeah, wow.
There we go.
Well, I was full health. I was like figuring, yeah, you can hack me, so I'm not going to be able to stun you. But if I'm full health, I mean, I'm sorry. You're just not...
Right.
You're not going to be able to get that kind of damage output.
Yeah.
But no, Lady Killer's definitely one. I'm glad that I finally listened to you. I got to start doing that. It's, you know what it is I forget. That's really what it is. I need to on my phone, I need to make a list, and then that way when you tell me about stuff, I can just put it down. Usually with movies I'm pretty good about.
I hit so much shit all the time. Oh, Jesus Christ. Speaking of, do not, if you watch The Greasy Strangler, please watch the trailer first and make up your own mind. But oh my God, I watched that shit tonight.
Oh God damn it! Oh really?
Yeah. Oh God, please don't worry with that one. I was wrong. I was told wrong.
Well, I knew it was not. I knew it was kind of gross, but
yeah, it's gross. It's weird. You and I do not do the appropriate drugs to get the enjoyment from that movie. Just don't do it. Off topic, but don't do it.
Now I have to.
Don't do it.
All right. Well, that's not comics. We're not allowed to talk about that.
Right. We're talking about comics.
All right. So I'd mentioned this previously when we were talking about Lady Killer. So one of the books that I read recently because Punning Pundit, he's a guy that follows me on Twitter. I follow him. He's used to be a fan of the show. Recommended The Vision by Tom King, and I forget who does the art. Have you read this book?
No.
Oh man,
I'm familiar with it, but I don't read it.
It is really, really good. Essentially, like The Vision. Okay, the problem is I don't know the full backstory of what happened prior. God damn it. Hey, I killed Roadhog.
Boom!
My understanding is that something happened with the Vision, and somebody died as a result. Either he accidentally killed them, or I don't know the full background. But the Vision creates a wife and 2 kids, and moves into the suburbs with them. And it's the story of him and his family, essentially forcing them to kind of try to live a normal life, but yet they're not normal. But it's told in flashback. So when it opens up, he starts talking about some of his neighbors about how, this woman's going to die in a fire, or whatever. And so you kind of know from the beginning that shit goes sideways. You just have no idea how or why. And then it kind of sets up, what happens. And it is extremely well done. My buddy on Twitter there, he had kind of mentioned it like the way that he described it is that like the Vision and his family they're like poltergeists who don't know they're dead yet, which I don't necessarily agree with that characterization. I don't know if you've been watching Westworld.
No.
But to me, there's a lot of parallels there because his family, they know they're different, they know where they came from, but it's me more like in Westworld, where the hosts in Westworld, the androids, they're starting to realize that something's not right, and what exactly is their purpose, where do they come from, why do they have these memories, why are they doing some of the stuff that they're doing, and that, to me, is more like what's going on in the Vision, where his kids and his wife are... Oh, god damn it. How the hell did that happen?
Damn it.
Seriously, how did I die?
Fuck. I don't know how I died either. So. Go get him, Bastion.
I seriously don't understand what that... I would like to see that as play of the game. The only thing I can think of is there's Zenyatta hit me with 5 at the same time that their Roadhog shot me. Because otherwise, I have no idea how because I didn't catch an orb. So I don't know how...
Oh no, that was a different one. Oh, there you go. Oh, I died. Anyway.
Well, we lasted longer than I would have thought of. But it's a really good book. The art style is really cool, and it is, you know, it's not... I mean, similar to Lady Killer in that it's kind of set in suburbia. And you know, the neighbors are kind of trying to figure out, well, what's the deal with these robots and their but even just like the dialogue of like the Vision explaining to his wife, no, here's how you would talk to people, and the difference between just like certain casual phrases that you and I would take for granted, but not explaining them to someone who like maybe is learning English as a second language, but just like the logic behind it's really, really well done.
Okay.
I'm interested to see, because this is, like you're saying, it's only going to be 12 issues, so they did the first 6 as the book 1, and then they'll do the second 6, so... I'm interested to see, knowing where we are, how it gets to where I know it's going to go. Because they tell you, like I said, they tell you right from the beginning. I think 2 tanks is fine. I think 2 tanks is if you wanted to. I don't want to take your tank away, but...
No, that's alright, that's fine.
I'm irritated that we keep going up against Roadhogs that are much better than me.
Yeah, you notice I'm still not picking Roadhog anyways.
They have a Reinhardt on the other side, and I don't know...
Probably a Bastion then.
Yep.
Our soldier's not afraid of Reinhardt or Bastion, apparently.
they have a Roadhog that's just sitting there.
Teammate eliminated.
Well, soldier died. Shocker.
I got killed by fucking Roadhog. I don't understand. Okay.
Are you
you're the
serious?
only one left?
Yeah.
At
least I got Reinhardt.
The Roadhog is in their
Yeah,
base. I should have healed up, and then I could have gotten him, but I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead and teabag him, bro. Good job, Bastion. You did all the work, buddy. Congratulations.
I don't know. I think we got really lucky doing 3x3 that first night, or you just need to play by yourself. I think right now, I think I'm not so sure that
we could go away from 3v3. I mean, we could do definitely not the random hero, but the one that lets you stack. That's fun.
I wouldn't mind winning one of these.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't either, but you know.
All right, so they got the same setup they did before.
Same setup. Yep.
I'm gonna see if I can't go the other way around. So, are you reading anything else good?
So I had 2 things I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit, and the one that I'd like to start with is sort of get here, Reinhardt.
All right, Bastion.
Got him. Got Reinhardt. Good. Boom. Nice.
Try that posting up behind your shield bullshit. Anyway, go ahead.
So you know, this one's sort of relevant to the werewolves thing. Is this book called Moonshine,
Okay.
which is it's an Image comic, and it's one of these things where I read the creative team and I signed up immediately. I did not even read the synopsis. It's
Okay.
by Moonshine. It's by Brian Azzarello and
Ooh.
Eduardo Riso.
Okay.
And I think I'm saying those names right. I may not be, but of course, best known for 100 Bullets, which ran
Right.
from Vertigo forever. Which, honestly, like when it started, I was immediately in love with, and then it got weird. But I still read the whole thing.
It did. Yeah, it totally did.
Jesus. Like I was like, man, I'm just not smart enough for this book by the end, because like I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I loved it, especially at the beginning. But,
Yay,
but anyway,
Roadhog's dead. Woohoo! Yay, I'm getting killed.
so I'm coming to be
Oh, god damn it. Sorry. I didn't mean to yell.
It's alright. That's fine. So it's this book, and it's like set during like, Prohibition, 1930s gangster kind of era. And this guy, who's like this sort of fat cat in New York and shit, he's like this, he tastes this liquor, and he's like, it's the most amazing thing he's ever had. And he's like, you know what? I want this brought here. I want to sell it. Like, we're going to make, all the money in the world off of this shit. And he sends this guy who's sort of this, he's sort of his, like, it's not his second in command, but he's like, he's one of his, like, his guys or whatever. He's like, just make it happen. He's like, he sends him, like, to basically Kentucky, to, like, the mountains. And he's like, find the guy who makes this. This shit's amazing. I want it here. Don't come back till you got it. And the guy is like, he's like, he's weird. And, oh, your boy's putting in work.
Jesus.
And he's like,
thank God, because I got my head 5 points. Look at you.
But he's so he's like, he's like this guy who like, so this guy from New York shows up, and he's not well received, right?
Well, yeah, I would not
So
expect.
like this, right? So the guy who makes this moonshine is like, his people are like, you know what? He's not going to talk to you. He's like, just go back to New York. But the guy's like, I can't go back to New York because the mob guys like, don't come back here till you have the stuff. And so he ends up finally getting to talk to the guy, and the guy's like, you know what? I appreciate the interest. I know, you're just doing what your boss told you to do. It's not going down. It's best that you just go home. And so the guy's like, well, I can't. I got made. He's like, I can't do that. And so so his boy, he's like, you know what, boys? He's like, walk Mr. So-and-so back out to the car. And so on the way, these good old boys get in a fight, a gunfight with the FBI, and they end up like blowing the FBI away and shit. And the guy's like, holy shit, like these guys are serious. Like,
If y'all can't correct, there you go.
hey,
There it is.
Took too long. Anyway, so he witnesses these good old boys blow away all these FBI guys. And so he hauls ass back to his hotel, and the local police show up and like, yeah, we're just investigating. Some shit went down. We heard you were there. Did you see anything? He's like, I didn't see anything. He's like, I just want to go back to New York. And so the guy's like, don't come back without this moonshine. And so we won one. Look at us go.
I know, right?
So that's basically the first issue ends with the guy seeing the FBI get blown away by the good old boys, and he's like, holy shit, this is bigger than we thought it was. And then issue 2 picks up with he's at his hotel. This is a man who is also like apparently a raging alcoholic, and so he gets like pass out drunk and he doesn't remember certain things. And so he wakes up at his hotel, and the cops show up, and he's like, oh shit, that's right, that did happen last night. And so
you want to do No Limits?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. And so he gets approached later that day by two, because the guy who makes the moonshine has, kids, and so he gets approached by the daughter, the son, and the son-in-law who's married to the daughter.
Okay.
And they're like, you know what, don't leave. He's like, they're like, you can make us rich, right? And he's like, yeah, I just, I'm gonna need way more, because they're like, we can get you this much. And he's like, oh, we need more than that. And she's like, well, this is what we can get you. Let's get this out there, and we'll go from there. And I see he's like, that's fine, but I'm telling you, my boss is gonna want way more than this. And so they, they talk him into taking this certain amount, and they're gonna sneak away in the middle of the night, and the dad's not gonna know anything. So of course, doesn't go that way. The truck gets knocked off the road and shit, and all of a sudden you get all these panels of these like the guys that were helping them, they're getting like ripped to pieces and shit. And come to find out, which I had no idea about whatsoever until this issue, Dad is a werewolf.
Oh.
And yeah, I had no idea. And I was like, holy shit, because the first issue gives no hint whatsoever.
Right.
That this guy is anything supernatural going at all. All you know is this guy is obviously, one of these, like, he's a man of power, in, in the hills or whatever of Tennessee, and that's the thing. We've seen Justified. That's the thing, right? You know that
they dug coal together.
So, yeah, and it turns out the guy's a werewolf, and I was like, holy shit! Like, I had no idea, so I got really excited. So I'm like, that's all I know.
Widowmaker's down.
Sweet. That's all I know about the book so far, but like, I'm really excited for more of that.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. What's the art style like?
So it's Risso. So if you read 100 Bullets, it's
right.
Yeah, he has a very distinct style. It's hard to compare it to other things because it's so distinct. But when you see Eduardo Risso's art, you know what it is. Right.
Do you know?
But it looks good. The werewolf looks good.
Have they given any indication that like drinking this stuff has anything to do with it? Like
I don't think so, because so far there's only one werewolf that I've seen, and it's the guy.
It's Pops.
So yeah, so there's no there's been nothing to say, well, hey, there's more than one werewolf, because obviously all I know so far is there's one.
Right.
So I would be surprised if that ended up being the case. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the mythology for the story plays, because I don't know. It's one of those things. Like entropy or however you want to call it. Like, it tends not to be transmuted through moonshine. It's like usually through werewolf attacks. So we'll see who the original werewolf was, and so we get into all that. That'd be neat. But so far, man, I'm like super into it. I like the sort of the bumbling alcoholic guy who works for the mob boss, trying. He's like way in over his head and all that, and it's just really cool, man. I'm really into it, and I hope it. I don't know how long of a series it's planned for, and I sincerely hope that before the shit gets like fucking 100 Bullets level of confusion, that we just end it. And we're done with it.
Right. Yeah, because I remember reading 100 Bullets and being like, all right, this is pretty cool. But then, I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening in this book? Like, when it first started off, it was totally followable.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great premise. And the first several trades, books, volumes, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they followed that premise, and it was brilliant. But I want to say almost just before halfway through, it changed, and it was like the characters were there. There were several of the characters I remembered from the earlier parts of the story, but I was like, I don't have a fucking clue what's going on.
Right.
And I own every issue of that run, like that series. I have the whole thing. I have no goddamn clue what that second half of that book is about.
I wasted my ultimate. I feel like an idiot.
I only killed Hanzo with mine, but I like doing that, so it was worth it.
I just feel like we could have had a shot. There's only a few of them there, but oh well, we got time. All right. So what's the other book you said you had 2 of them?
Yeah, I have 2. So, Kill or Be Killed is the other one. I'm getting teabagged. I love that. That's so much fun. Good job. Like 6 people just murdered me, but you go ahead and teabag me there, Son, because it's probably.
Hey, I shut down Hanzo's. I shut down Hanzo's ultimate. I feel pretty good about that.
Nice. So the other thing was Kill or Be Killed, and it's one of those things where I didn't read the synopsis. I signed up immediately because it was Ed Brubaker and Sean Murphy. And,
oh, okay. I know Ed Brubaker. I don't know Sean Murphy.
So yeah, so they do a lot. They did.
Hanzo, at your service.
No, Sean Phillips. I'm sorry, Sean Phillips. They did Fatale together. They do. They basically they work together a lot. They did Criminal, and so like whenever they do a book, I immediately sign up for it. There's no question. Like I already know I want it. And this one is about this kid who this kid basically is like so this book sort of does your whole like urban vigilante thing, but they do it. They bring like a psychological aspect into it. So basically, the first issue, there's this kid, and he's suicidal, and he actually there's a failed suicide attempt, and so he survives the suicide attempt. He gets visited by this demon, and the demon tells him you have to kill. You know, you have to kill 1 person per day, or you're going to hell, because people who commit suicide are supposed to go to hell, right?
Right.
And the thing is, of course, only he sees it. And he goes home. He goes to his bed. He wakes up. He's like, "Did that really happen?" And as the reader, we don't know either. And we saw it, obviously, because he saw it, but we don't know if it was real. And he decides at first it wasn't real. That's nonsense. There you go. Take that Wii. Good job. And so he decides he's not going to do it, obviously, because this is a normal guy. He was just depressed. And so ends up, he starts getting really sick. And you see the demon visit him in the mirror. Like, he's like really sick, and he's like, "This is ridiculous." It's almost the end of the first day. The demon comes to him, slams him in the mirror, and he's like, "No, motherfucker, I was serious. You're done." So he goes out, and he ends up like killing like a bum or something. I don't know. And so he gets home, goes to bed, and he's like, "Fuck." He's like, "I don't know, man. I still don't know if I'm sick, like it's in my head, like I don't know." And in the meantime, his roommate.
God damn it! Sorry.
So his roommate. That's all right. His roommate's girlfriend is like one of his best friends. Like he's in love with her, of course, and she loves him. So there's like that. He's like sort of messing around his roommate with the girl, and he wants to tell somebody so bad, like what's happened to him, and he can't tell anybody. And it's like maybe 3-4 issues in now. The last one, he had this childhood friend he remembered who was molested by his older brother, and so he's like, "Well, that's perfect. I'll go kill that asshole." And so like the second day, he ends up killing that guy, and it leads to a child porn ring being brought down. And so now he's like, I might be able, I could do some good here with this thing, this curse that I have to do. So it's like this real play on the whole vigilante thing, where he's like,
right.
Well,
yeah, because eventually
thing, but
you might run out.
It doesn't have to be a terrible thing, right? Yeah, right.
Well, but eventually you might run out of criminals.
That too, right? But this has to happen like once a day, or he's gonna apparently like go to hell or be killed or whatever. And it's super interesting. It raises so many questions. It really makes you think, and you don't, even as the reader, you have no idea if this guy's nuts or if there really is a demon. Like, it's just, oh man, it's so good.
Right.
Hey!
Oh, God damn it.
Hanzo.
Oh, we're so
close!
close!
Get some too, Hanzo! Get some too, Hanzo! Oh, I'm in there! What the fuck?
Yes!
I'm standing in the point!
We got
it! Yes! Woo! Sorry, I was bad. I was like, we lost. Fuck that. I'm standing right here.
I know. I was.
Oh my god.
Get Hanzo. And that guy shut me down. That guy shut me down a million times.
Oh god. Man, it's hard to talk about comic books and play this game. Jesus Christ.
We've done pretty well though.
I know.
No, we'll give it to.
Yeah, that was the other one for me. Yeah. So, like I like those two books are like the last, because I signed up for just about. I mean, I signed up for a lot of Image stuff. Most of it based on the creative team, but especially like whenever I see, you know, Azzarello Risso and Brubaker Phillips, I'm like, I don't even give a shit. I don't even read the synopsis. I'm like, yep, signing up for that.
Right. So what? So the second one's called Kill or Be Killed. You said?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Kill or Be Killed.
I'll have to check that one.
And
out.
it's like, yeah. The whole the relationship with the girl, it sort of came to a head in issue 4, and man, it was just like, oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, because
it's a really good book.
Trying to think. The other thing, because I mean, I talked about the Omega Men on a previous show, but then since then, I mean, the other one was I did read the first the Black Panther book, which I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that one a lot. So I'm interested in reading the kind of the Ladies of Wakanda or whatever the hell it's called, the preview.
Yeah.
One.
That one sold pretty good at the store actually. A lot of people came in looking for that one.
Well, those characters, I like what they did with them. I like the way that he wrote those women and kind of what they're, you know, how they're setting them up in this book to be kind of counter to him, but yet complementary at the same time.
Right.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
So it's my understanding it's an all-female creative team also.
Yeah.
And like everybody was really excited about this, which I thought was neat. Like like people came to the store and like, did you know about this book? And I'm like, well, not really. Like I don't read a lot of Marvel because I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty disenfranchised with Marvel right now. Like I read very few things Marvel puts out these days. But I was surprised. Everybody was so excited. They're like, oh, it's an all-female creative team, and you know, this woman's from here and this, and I was like, holy shit. Like I don't want to read it because, you know, I don't read Black Panther, but like I'm excited that you're excited to read it for that reason.
Right.
Because that's not, you know, we don't get that a lot.
Right. No, and that's why I'd like to read it as well. But you know, for me to do things kind of week by week, it's hard for me. You know, I really have to wait until stuff is collected.
Yeah, that's I say, you know, I'm hopelessly addicted, and I have been for years. But a lot of it, the reason why I'm able to be addicted is that, you know, my habit. I work for my habit.
Right.
Like I don't get money from the comic book store. I get store credit, and I still have to write John a check every week. So a sizable check, you know, like most weeks. So.
Well, it's a smaller check.
Smaller, yes.
Smaller than it could be.
It's not cheap.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you know, I remember, you know, back before I had kids. I mean, I was spending a fair amount. It started off small, and then, you know, it got more, and then when we adopted Ben, I mean, we you know, obviously we had to pay for that all ourselves, and adoptions are expensive. So you know, we went through the budget, and we were like, okay, well, what can we get rid of? And I remember, you know, Linda was like, well, how much? You know, she's like, I said, well, we'll get rid of comics. And when she saw like how much it was that we were saving, she's like, you were spending how much money on comics? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, right.
And I just, you know, since then I've just never, you know, I've kind of never gotten back to it, and so, and nowadays it's easier, you know, price wise, and I know it doesn't necessarily help with things in terms of it doesn't necessarily help keeping books alive, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I figure better than nothing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I always say. Like, you know, no matter how people are reading comics, as long as people are reading comics, like that's, you know, that's the thing.
But I mean, I'm like you. I mean, I like some of the main, like I like Marvel, DC, that type of thing, and I definitely I don't read a lot of Marvel. I like the Marvel movies better than the DC movies, but I don't read a lot of Marvel, and I think it's just because the years I've just found it much harder to follow along with the changes that they've made to their heroes than I have with DC heroes.
Yeah. The path is closed.
But I mean, it's also for me, it's just somewhat intimidating, which I think it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
To pick in something like, hey, this book's 700 issues in, and you're like, all right, what the hell am I gonna do?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why we get so many fucking reboots and you know, restarts and the new number ones, and it's like, we're doing another number one again. It's like, well, the thing is, you know, every time there's a new movie, you bring in a whole new group of fans.
Yes.
And they don't want to start on issue number 600 of something, especially shit like Fantastic Four, Action Comics, Batman. These books have been around since the 50s, you know, 60s, whatever. It's hard to make, you know, for somebody to come in and be like, well, hey, and especially the way shit's written now, it's like, you know, everything again is by trade, so it's hard to get somebody to sign on to a book if this is part 3 of a 6-part story and they know that.
Right.
It's like, you know, it's like, well, you're working against yourself almost at that point.
Watch out, he's up on the roof to the left. I mean, well, as much as people didn't like the new 52, at least for me, I was like, okay, I feel like to a certain degree, I can jump on board, you know, this, you know, Snyder's particular version of Batman. Like, I actually like that, because I felt like I recognized enough of what was going on to where I wasn't completely lost, but I also could, shit.
30 seconds.
Hold out a little longer, and you're done.
Oh, you fucks. Shit. Every time we get to the end. Oh, sweet. Good job, dude. Yeah, this thing with the new 52 was like, when it initially started, oh, it was such a cash grab for DC because everybody was so excited about this new direction and this and that, you know, and
oh god, I just died. Fucking 10-player kill streak.
As it went on, people came to realize these aren't great stories. They're okay.
Right.
I am on fire.
And it's like, you know, yeah, it's exciting, new number ones and shit, but it's like, the main thing is the stories.
Right.
And that's where they ended up, you know, what hurt them. And that's why, loot box bitches, that's why, so far Rebirth has been so much better. Is because
There it is. Yeah, I've heard the stories. Look at this is me dead.
Oh,
I'm dead, by the way.
Look at that. That's good stuff, though. Look at all those kills. Everybody hit that X button. That's easy.
That's funny. They're like, he got play of the game for being dead? That's funny. My own team, look at that. My own team doesn't even give it to me. What's up with that? Well, so I've heard the Rebirth stuff is much better. I just haven't had the opportunity to read any of it.
So, I don't know if you saw, I tweeted it today and I also put it on the Facebook page. But yeah, almost all of the first volumes are going to be free digitally here coming up. And yeah, they're almost all worth checking out. If you're interested in a character at all, they're worth checking out because they've gotten it right.
When you say the first volumes, you mean like the first issues or the first
6 issues? The first
really?
trades. Yes.
Oh, shit, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I tweeted it today and I put it on the Facebook page. So definitely, I think they're coming out in like sort of like they're tiered, so not everything's gonna hit at once.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all gonna be free digitally. So if you're at all interested in a character or a book, definitely, because the Rebirth's been, man, it's so good. Oh, it's like almost every book I read, I'm just like, holy shit, I want the next issue right now.
Now, do they tie things? I mean, how tied to the whole like Watchmen stuff is it?
Well,
Because that was the one
so
thing I
far,
was just kind of like, I'm not sure about that.
Sure, that was in the Rebirth one-shot thing, and which was good. But yeah, that's the only thing that it's been in that I read so far, and I read a shit ton. I don't read everything, but I do read most of it, and there's been none of that so far.
Okay.
I lost many good soldiers here.
I understand.
I didn't know if,
Ultimate is
yeah.
charged.
Yeah, I know, like that was one of the things everybody was kind of like, and I was like, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with it, but yeah, like that hasn't even been, as far as I know, hasn't been addressed. Nothing I read has been addressed in.
There's Junkrat right there.
Tango down. Get back.
System repaired. We're back.
They are. How many Junkrats do they have? Oh, they have 4 Junkrats.
Yeah, they have lots.
So I don't know who's good against Junkrat. I can't remember.
Back in action.
Long range, obviously.
I'm gonna do Roadhog.
Junkrat's one of those characters who's more of a nuisance than a real threat.
Well, when there's like 4 of them, though, I think eventually, eventually a nuisance turns into.
Yeah.
Like right there, for example.
Oh, I just got killed behind me. I was 76% towards my neck too. That sucks.
I don't even know who's good against him.
I really don't either. Like I've never, like I said, I've never had to really counter a Junkrat.
Yeah, people stacking Junkrats.
Right, that doesn't happen a whole lot.
Check this out.
Hey, I know who to use against Sombra. I just whipped that. dude's
Okay, so
ass.
it's not Lucio. Who'd you use against Sombra?
I'm still a diva. This is a diva heavy night for me.
Death walks among you. The objective is mine. Be quick about it.
Yeah, be quick about it. You know we're all dying back here, right? Hey, I got a loot box, so honestly, I don't really give a shit what happens after this.
I'm the same way. This is probably it for me. Like,
See that which is unseen.
hey, let's go, let's go. Yeah, good job, King Bacon.
All systems checked out.
Nice dragons, bro. It's all point, though.
Worry, I
Nope. Too late. Nope. Too late.
I warped. I heard fire in the hole, and I ghosted. I was like, that is a thing that is not happening. Well, they're sticking with it. You know they're gonna have the point just fucking trapped up.
Yeah, they're gonna lock the shit. They're gonna.
Although, you know, this actually wouldn't be bad though for Farrah because she can get up higher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Well, fair, and also,
I will
if
protect
if you want
the
to fair, because
innocent.
I'll stick with Diva, because I can always boost up in the air and drop down on with my ult if they're all on the point. You know, that's the idea anyway.
In theory. I mean, they do have a Hanzo.
I am taking the objective. Join me.
Oh, I got stuck in a trap. Damn it.
taking the objective. A little help would be appreciated. I'm securing the objective. Anyone wants to join? Securing the area.
Oh, god damn it, I died. There it is, get it.
Yeah. Boom.
Nice.
Ball game.
Oh, they killed both of us right in the victory.
I don't care.
Play of the game.
Gosh, Zilla.
Goshzilla. That's a great gamer tag. I love that. That's good. That's like if Chris wanted to set up a gamer tag about Godzilla.
He wanted to set it up what now?
If he wanted to make a gamer tag that was like Godzilla oriented, he'd have to do that.
Epic.
Hey, look at that. I got 75.
Hey!
I got a blue card. 75 healing done.
Very nice.
That's... yeah. Do you want to do one more, or do you want to back out?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
This is bedtime.
Leave as group. We'll go open up our loot box.
Yes, sir. Oh, got one blue. That garbage.
Oh, I got 2 purples.
Nice.
Really? One is a purple... No, let's see. I got a purple Ana emote, because I use that so... Oh, I got the T emote. Alright, that's good.
There you go. All right.
And then Genji voice line, some money, and a player icon. What that is, I have no idea. Oh, it's a mech. Yeah, what the fuck.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody who hung around to watch. I think we managed to be somewhat coherent while we were getting our ass kicked.
I think so.
So yeah, so the books we talked about tonight, just to recap, if you want to read them for yourself: Lady Killer, The Vision, Kill or Be Killed, Moonshine, and then be on the lookout for all of the various Rebirth volumes coming digitally. Now, is that on DC's? Because they have their own digital distribution thing now, don't they? Or is that like Comixology? Or
I don't think it was Comixology. I forget. I'll tweet it out again.
Okay.
Just to make sure. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what service it was.
Okay. Well, I'm sure if you did a search for Rebirth digital, you'd probably find out all the relevant information. So yes, thanks everybody for hanging out. Of course, we look forward to doing this again the next couple weeks. I'll be picking Dishonored 2 up again Thursday. Do that for a couple days. Unfortunately, my wife's traveling next week, so my streaming is going to fall by the wayside a little bit. And then you have anything coming up?
Yes, yeah, I do actually have a couple of things. I'm going to be doing, of course, the Batman episode 4 is out. I will hopefully start that this weekend. And then I picked up Gears of War 4, and my son asked for it for Christmas. So I thought maybe I'd do we might do a father-son
Oh, cool. There you go.
run through of Gears of War 4. So
there you go. Hopefully it'll go better than mine. That was fraught with technical difficulties, but
right.
Well, there you go. All right, cool. So thanks again, everybody. We look forward to spending some more time with you across the various games in the next couple days. And, of course, you can always check out everything you missed on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to... I kind of fell behind on my Dishonored stuff. I was like, oh, shit, that's a lot of videos. But we should be... I think we're almost up, except for Tuesday night's episode. I think we're up to date there. So, but anyway, we'll be talking to you soon. So for myself and Mitch, thanks again. Good night, and have a good evening.